guys, it's D-Man Swish here, and welcome back to Video Game Finds episode number 11. And today I got quite a bit of stuff to show you guys. A couple of rare items. Well, maybe not a couple. One really good item, and it's fairly rare, and it's a pretty cool item. It's the first item that I picked up for this video, but I will be showing it close to the end because it's such a special item, and I want to save it till later. So, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so the first item I will be showing you, I picked this up about 3.5 weeks ago. So right when the other video was uploaded was about the time I got this. And it is a Sony PlayStation 3 Urban Camo controller. It is DualShock 3, it is 6-axis, it's the official Sony brand controller. And I think this was $20. I picked it up at my local Mr. Money pawn shop. And it's always cool to get some newer generation stuff along with the older stuff, so I decided to pick this up when I saw it. Really cool, really good condition. It's basically a brand new controller, so for 20 bucks I can't really pass up, you know, more newer technology, I guess. So really cool condition, really cool color scheme, everything. So that was really cool. Next here, I will show you something I got in a garage sale about 3.5 weeks ago. And it was kind of a slow day for me. I didn't find anything at all, really. This is pretty much the only item I found that day. And it's pretty cool. I've never seen another one like it. And for $1 I paid for this. It was a pretty good deal. I'm sure these are probably worth 20-25 bucks online somewhere, but I've never seen them anywhere. So, here it is. It is a Super Mario backpack here, and it is used, but for its age, I guess, it's not too old, but for its use, I mean, it's not very bad at all. Like, there's a few little, you know, nicks and scratches here from use, and I'm sure the owner's kid was probably the one who owned this and everything like that, and so it felt kind of weird asking about it when I bought it, but I said I was a huge fan of Mario and I love game stuff, so I paid $1 for it and got this backpack. So I'm most likely going to be using it as like a hang-up item or a display piece. I'm not going to be actually using it. So, but it's really cool designs on it and everything, and it's just really cool overall for a backpack design. So really happy to get that. Next here, I think that was that same weekend, about 3.5 weeks ago, I went to my Games Ahoy game store, which is not too far from where I live. And 2 of these I picked up then, and 2 of these I just picked up a couple days ago. So it's kind of like a mix match, but it's the same sort of thing. They gave these to me again. I got 4 more Nintendo NES dust sleeves here. 2 of them have the Nintendo logo, and 2 of them do not. So I do need as many of these as I can, as I've always said in my previous videos. The more of these I get, the better. So they've always been giving these to me, so that's really cool. And so yeah, really cool. Get to put those on my games now when I get more games and stuff like that. So really cool. Alright, now about 3 weeks ago I went to my local ARC thrift store and I found 2 really cool items. One that I have not seen at a thrift store before, and the other I've always found at thrift stores. So the first item here is what I have not seen at a thrift store before. It is the Wii Zapper Gun accessory for your Nintendo Wii. And it is Nintendo brand, it is official, has the little battery cover slip on here, and it looks to be hardly used, to be honest with you. Really good condition, really cool, and it's just a little, you know, add-on piece, nothing too exciting, but I think it was $2 I paid for this, and I didn't have any yet, so kind of like another accessory, kind of like the Wii Wheel or whatever, so really cool. Wasn't expecting to see that there, so I thought that was a pretty cool deal. And then the other item here is, I always see these there, but not in this color, but it is a Sony PlayStation 1 controller here. It's the aqua blue. So really cool, Sony brand, official, and it's basically brand new. I mean, the joysticks are really rough, really stiff still, and everything like that, so really clean, and it works really good. So I might start going through my PS1 controllers. I have way too many. And I'm thinking about getting rid of a lot of my basic gray ones so I can have more of these colored ones here. So, I don't know yet. I'll have to figure out when I'm going to be able to do that. But for now, just keep getting the colored ones and stuff, and I'm kind of kind of try to just pass up the basic gray ones because I know I have a lot of those. But the colored ones are always cool. So really cool. I was glad to find that there. And that was $1. That one was $1. That was $1. So really cool. And then just a couple weeks ago, we were remodeling the house here. We did the carpet and we repainted our walls in the house and everything. So basically everything was getting moved out of the house, and then we had to move it all back in when everything was done. That was real fun. But my dad was going through a lot of his old computer stuff, and he found a couple of cables, and I told him that I could actually use these. And so instead of throwing them away, I actually grabbed them up, and they both work. And I got a little power adapter here and red, white, and yellow AV cables here. And you guessed it, they go for, these can work on a regular Nintendo. So another set of cables here in case I just get a basic NES console only. I can throw these together with the console, and there we go. So really cool to find these. These have been in my house for I don't even know how long, and I didn't even know about it. So really cool. Pretty much free, I guess. To me, anyway. I mean, we were basically going to throw them out if I hadn't figured out what they were for or anything. So really cool that they turned out to work. So now we're going to get into more recently here. This was just last weekend, and I got a couple of consoles here at a garage sale, and really cool. One of them I will be keeping just because I don't have it yet, except for one or two of them, and the other one I will be selling because I have plenty of them. So, but first I will show you the games that came with them, and then you can guess what the consoles are. But I'll show you the games first, and then I'll show you the consoles. So first I will show you these games here. There are two games here. They're both N64 games, and I don't own either of these. And they're not too exciting of titles, but they're still something I don't have. So I'm going to be keeping the games. I might be keeping the controllers, but I will sell the console. I might be trading one of my controllers for the other controllers, because the other controllers are a little bit better than some of mine. So first one here is WCW versus NWO World Tour. And I did not have this. And the other one here is NASCAR 99. And so both of these games I do not have, and so now I do. So I can add these to the collection. So very, very cool. And then for the other console, I will show you the games here. The first one here is, I did not know this was part of the deal. I got home and I hooked the system up, and this game was in it. So really cool. It's Swing Away Golf for PlayStation 2. I'll hang on to this until I either get a complete copy or I find the book and cable or case for it, and then I will complete it that way. Otherwise, I'll just put it in my incomplete box for now of games. So really cool though. I did not know that was in there until I got home and turned on the system. And so the other two games here are Extreme Legends Dynasty Warriors 5. Now, I recently picked up 4, so now I have 4 and 5. And the other PS2 game here is Grand Theft Auto 3. And it is part of a set version, but it is brand new, factory sealed. So, really cool. I already have the complete trilogy set sealed, but to have the loose game by itself, number 3 here sealed, I think is still pretty much worth it. So I decided to pick that one up as well. Their games were $2 each, but I threw in some games, and they told me to take them with when I bought the consoles. So now here are the consoles that I will show you here. And this is what I will be keeping, just because I don't have too many of these. I'll just show you here. It is the big PS2, the fat PS2 body slim. Or not the slim, the... I don't even know what I'm saying. The big system. But it is really nice shape. There's no dust that much. I mean, there's not too much dust in it, so it's hardly played with. It's never been opened. All the buttons on the console face work. The lights light up and everything. No problems like that. It works basically like it was brand new. So I have a lot of slims, but I only have 2 big ones. I have one that I use, which is my original one from like 11 or 12 years ago, and then I have my boxed one. But I didn't have a loose one by itself like this, so I decided to buy it, and it came with the 8 MB memory card here, which is pretty cool, Sony brand. And what it also came with was... it only had the power cable here, but I already have a bunch of these, and I put in one of my own AV cables that I have an extra of, so I put that in there with it. And it came with 2 controllers here. One of them here is, or they're both actually the same, I guess. Both of them here are the blue ones here, the clear blue ones, and they're both Sony brand. One of them is brand new, like it's been played with maybe a couple hours, and the other one has a lot of use on it, and unfortunately it's pretty fidgety, and it doesn't like cooperate half the time. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I'll end up doing something with it. I'm not positive yet, but I'm glad they threw in the second controller, because it was originally coming with one, and since I bought one of their consoles, they had 3 of them. They had 3 PS2s, and they were and they said since I was buying one, they said I could have an extra controller with it. So I'm glad they threw in the extra controller, because I would have been coming home and finding out that one of the controllers wasn't working, and that could have been the one that was the only one that was given to me. So it would have been kind of disappointing, but I'm glad they threw in the second controller. It was really cool. Alright, and the other thing here, the other console, you already know what it was. It's the Nintendo 64. And what's cool about this is that it came with the expansion pack. And so I haven't found a whole lot of consoles with the expansion packs. So it was really exciting to find it with an expansion pack. This console was bundled with the 2 games I showed you a little bit ago, and the console also came with power brick and AV cables here, both official Nintendo brand, and both controllers are official. It came with 2 controllers, and I got a blue one here and a gray one, and the joysticks are fair. I'd say the blue one's probably a 5 and the gray one's probably a 7, but really cool. I'm going to probably be keeping both of these controllers, just because some of my controllers are just really loose, but still playable, of course, but I'll probably be keeping these just to switch them out. So I'll be keeping both controllers, most likely, and selling the console with one of my old controllers. So really cool deal. One last item I got from that garage sale, which is more recent, more modern of a game, and it is a PS3 game, and it's God of War 3. And it is complete, and it's basically brand new. It had a couple fingerprints on the disc, but I cleaned those off with a lens cleaner. So, really cool, really good condition. So another game to add to my PS3 collection. So really cool. The total I paid for both consoles and all the games was $40, and the 64 was originally $20, and the games were $2 a piece, and God of War 3 was $5, and the PS2 was $15, I think. So I saved a few dollars on what they were originally asking. So for bundling it together, it still saved me a little bit of money. So really cool. I'll be saving the PS2, but I'll be selling the 64. So really cool deal. Alright, next. This was done just last weekend, and it was done in 2 trips, to be honest with you here. First, I'll show you the 2 items that I got the first day, and then the second day I went back and got the other one. And so I'll tell you when I get to it. But first thing here is I got a Nintendo 3DS wall charger cable here, and it was $1.99. Really cool. I don't have a 3DS yet, but I'll be holding off for one eventually, and I will have an extra cable in case I ever need one. So really cool to find that. And the other item here is an older generation item, and it is Donkey Kong for the Nintendo Game Boy, and it came in the clamshell case here, and this was $1.50. So, or wait, no, it wasn't half off, it was $3. So this was $3, which is like a $6 or $7 game, so I saved a little bit of money on it, which is really cool. And then there was another game, another Game Boy game that was there, but I didn't know if I had it or not. So what I did was I kind of put it in the back of the electronics section, like I put it on the back of the shelf. And I came home and I found out that I didn't have the game, so I went back the next day and it was still there, and it was actually, turned out it became half off too. So I got it for cheaper than I was expecting it to be, and it was still there when I hit it, basically. So really cool. I didn't have this. I have it on the NES, but I don't have it on the Game Boy, but now I do. And that is Dr. Mario. And so really cool. Really cool games for the Game Boy there, and it was a really good deal. And Dr. Mario was $1.50, so basically $4 for both Game Boy games, so $2 a piece if you want to consider it that way. So really cool. Alright, now I'll just do I got a few things here I did about 2-3 days ago, and then one item I did last night. and I'll get to the story of the one I got last night. But for now, I'll show you the stuff I just recently got. Whoops. Yeah, I always stack my stuff, and it always tends to fall, so unfortunately, it kind of gets into a mess. But, I mean, thankfully it's on my bed and doesn't fall onto the floor or something, which I'm grateful for. But, alright, first item I will show you here. All these items I'm about to show you came from the same guy. I've mentioned him many times. He used to have a stall up at the old flea market, and I've bought stuff from him many times, and he always gives me great deals. And so he contacted me about this stuff. I originally contacted him about one item he had on Craigslist, and he told me he had more stuff. So he sent me a couple pictures, and he told me he would do a bundle deal for all of it. And so I'll show you all the stuff, and then I'll tell you what I paid afterwards. So first item here, it is the Game Genie for the Super Nintendo. Really cool. I haven't had one of these before, so now I have one. And I have two of them, I think, for the NES, but I never had one for the Super Nintendo. And what it came with, unfortunately it's not complete, but it's still partial. It came with half of the code book here. I mean, it's got some good games in it, like The Legend of Zelda, Super Mario, all those good games. But, it's unfortunate that it's not complete, but I'll eventually probably find a book that is complete, and I'll replace this. But for now, just to have the Game Genie here for the Super Nintendo is really cool. So that's the first item. The next one here is a really cool item. I didn't have one of these either, so when I saw it, I really wanted it from him. And that is a Super Scope for the Super Nintendo. And it's basically like the Zapper for the NES, if you guys don't know. And it's basically like a bazooka if you were to hold it kind of like a bazooka if you were to hold it kind of like this on your shoulder, and then, you know, it has a sensor bar that you put on top of the TV. It's kind of like the Wii. So kind of cool how Nintendo had their, you know, technology then that they still use today. So really cool idea. I did play Super Scope with this, and I already have a copy of Super Scope, but this came with a copy of it as well. So I have the gun here. And then it came with an extender piece, and I'm pretty sure these are pretty hard to find. I haven't seen one with this before, so pretty sure it might be a hard piece to find. I have several of these sensors, but I've never had the gun to test them, so I might have to do that someday. But I have the sensor here, which works great. And then I have a really cool poster that came with it. I'm pretty sure he said he got this stuff from a garage sale. And these people must have kept this in really good condition because they have all the original stuff with it and everything. I might be hanging this up. It's a pretty cool poster. It's a Link to the Past poster on one side here from Nintendo Power, and then Super Games on the other side. So really cool poster that came with it. I was really excited to get that in there. And the last piece here, it kind of all came in a bag here. So the last item here is Super Scope 6. And it came with the dust sleeve on the bottom there. And so, really cool game, really fun. Got a bunch of little mini games on it and stuff, so really cool. I was really excited to finally find a Super Scope, and really excited. The other item that he contacted me here about, after I show you this item, then I'll show you the item that I originally contacted him about. But he had 3 total items that he additionally showed me that he had that I was first dibs basically. The last item here is Mario Paint, complete in the box. Now, the only thing wrong with this is that the box is completely destroyed, basically. I mean, it's not too bad, but I think it's like water damaged. It's all warped, as you could probably see. It has all these creases and dents and dings in it and everything. But the thing is I already have this boxed. But what's cool about this one is that it has the styrofoam piece. Mine didn't have that, so I will be taking the styrofoam piece out of this one and keeping mine, but I will be probably trading this in at Games Ahoy to see if I can get some in-store credit with it or something. But as long as it's complete, I'm pretty sure it's not that big a deal if it's missing the styrofoam piece. I'm just kind of a little OCD about that because I like keeping stuff complete. So that is one of the main reasons why I bought this boxed game set from him. But it has the mouse, it has the pad, it has the game, it has all the manuals. So, still basically complete, just I'll be taking the styrofoam piece out of it. But other than that, it's really cool. And then the last item here, it came with a couple of things here. I'll show you what it is first, and then I'll tell you what it came with. But I have here Nintendo NES console. And this is what I saw on Craigslist, and this is what I contacted him about. And then he showed me the stuff I just showed you. He sent it to me in a text message. He showed me the stuff that he had otherwise. But this is what I really wanted from him, mainly because I wanted to resell it, and the couple accessories that came with it that I could always use extra of. Not really, but I'm just kind of collecting extra console accessories. So, the console here is a little fidgety. I mean, a lot of them do that. I mean, it's pretty common. It was common then, it's common now, so, but the 72-pin connector is a little bit, you know, used. So, it still plays games just fine if you get it in the right position and everything. And it was pretty dirty, but I ended up cleaning it up and everything. It turned out really nice. So, really cool deal on this. I will tell you the prices here in a second. But what it came with was the official Nintendo Power Brick here. And the other item, or the other cord here, is the AV cables. Didn't come with an RF, but it came with AV cables. And then it came with 3 accessories here. 2 of them I'll be keeping, and 1 of them I'll let it go with the console. This is the first one here. It's a brick Nintendo NES controller. Basic, you know, Nintendo brand. It has some scratches on the back, so this is why I'm probably getting rid of this one. But it still fully functions. It's really stiff still. The buttons are tight, so really good. You know, it still has a lot of life left in it. Other than the exterior, it's kind of destroyed. But the 2 items I will be keeping are orange NES Zapper here, Nintendo brand, and another official Nintendo brand Square controller. So both of these I will be keeping. And the console with the controller and both cables I will be selling. But everything I just showed you from the guy that I usually buy from and stuff, he sold it all to me for 40 bucks. And the console was originally 25, and the game stuff, the Super Scope and all that, he was firm on with 20. So what I did is I told him I would take, if he were to sell it all to me, I would do 40 on it. And he said that's fine. So I bought it all from him for 40 bucks. So the first stuff I showed you I will be keeping, then the console I'll be selling. The NES I'll be selling. So I'll probably make all my money back from just the NES itself. So really cool deal. Alright, now we're getting into last night. My brother had mentioned this to me, and he for some reason told me late last night. It was about 1 in the morning. And I don't know what sparked his it to remind him, but he told me about this. He was at Walmart the other day with his friend, and he told me about, you know, something that I would be interested in. It's not video game related, but it is something from my childhood that it's a big part of my childhood. I grew up with it. It was it's basically what defines kind of who I am today. So what I really wanted was this movie on DVD, and I cannot find it anywhere. I could not find it anywhere. I have it on VHS just because of how good of a movie it is. That's why that's how good it is, because it's still on VHS for me. But I finally found it on DVD. So me and my brother hopped in the car last night at about 1 a.m. We went to Walmart, and I'm glad we did, because this was the only copy I could find in the entire store. And I was glad we went when we did. And that is the movie Space Jam with Michael Jordan, Bugs Bunny, and all the other Looney Tunes. And if you guys have not seen this movie, I recommend that you do, especially if you're Looney Tunes fans, if you're Michael Jordan fans, if you're basketball fans, or you're just in for, you know, mischief and all that stuff. I mean, it's a great movie. I know it's not video game related, but for me, this just defines my childhood, basically. I mean, I love Michael Jordan, I love the Looney Tunes, I love basketball, so this is why I wanted to go and get it last night. It was the only copy I could find out of the entire store, so I'm glad I went. And the only other times I see this on DVD is on eBay, Amazon, anything like that. So I'm glad I found it locally, so I wouldn't have to buy it online. So really cool. It was only $5, so I was really excited to find this DVD finally. And so really cool. Alright, now I will get to the rare item that I was telling you about at the beginning of this video. And I finally got one. And I saved up a lot of my graduation money for this. I got a $50 gift card to Games Ahoy from one of my mom's coworkers. I don't know if I mentioned it before or not, but it was really nice of her to do that for me. I really do thank her for that, because it was a really nice gift. I used 50 of that for the towards this item, and then the other 50 went through cash. So it was $100. Does sound a little pricey, but once you get that gift card in there, it was only about $50 or so. So I only paid roughly $50 or so for this entire setup. And so what I will show you here is something I'm sure a lot of people know about, but probably don't own one yet. And I recommend, if you can find one and you can get it for cheap, I recommend you buy it right away, because these are getting more popular every day. There's hardly any on eBay anymore, really, that I can find. They're getting more expensive, and for this one to be in this condition, I'm really glad I finally got it. And it was sitting at Games Ahoy for about 3 months. And I talked to the owner a lot, and he tells me that they only last for about 3 or 4 months when they ever get them. And so I got it about the time it was about ready to disappear. So I'm glad I got it when I did. And that is the Pokemon Pikachu yellow and blue Nintendo 64 console. And it is really good condition. It still has the ash sticker here where it says press here to reset. And a lot of these don't have that anymore. A lot of those were peeled off by kids and stuff. So I was glad to find this one in this condition. It comes with just the basic jumper pack in there. And I'm pretty sure these originally came with the expansions. I'm not positive, but I think that's how it was. But Pikachu's cheeks here light up like they should, so the battery isn't dead on the inside. And yeah, the console's in great shape. A few little scratches here from, minor use. Really good condition. And what it came with was both official Nintendo brand cables here. Really glad they came with official. And I threw this in for $2. They had it for $1.95, so I decided to buy it. I already have this game, but I decided to get another one just for, because the console came with this, and it's Hey You Pikachu. And so I decided to buy the game with it just because it's more of a complete set that way. And the last thing is here, this is probably one of the most rare parts of the console. This isn't the one that goes with it, but it's good enough for now until I find one. It's just the basic blue Nintendo 64 controller here. Pretty fair joystick. I'd say probably about a 7. Pretty good. It's still, it still matches pretty well with the blue color, but I do really want to get the Pokemon Edition controller for this console. So that might take me a while, because I have not seen one ever, personally. I've seen them, online and stuff, but never in person. So I will have to eventually find one of those. But yeah, for $100 with the gift card, so basically only $50 or so. I think it was like $58 or $108 after tax. So $58 in cash is what I paid for that console, which is a really good deal, since a lot of the times they go for $125 if they have the complete controller and everything with them. So really glad I found that. Really good deal. I have one last thing to show you guys, but I will be cutting away so you guys can see that. So I'll cut away from the main video now so you guys can see it. Alright guys, so this is what I wanted to show you really quick. We were cleaning out the house a couple weeks ago, and this DVD rack here was in my parents' bedroom. They had a bunch of DVDs in there, but they got rid of a bunch of them, so they decided to just give me this DVD rack here. And if you didn't notice in the main video there, I didn't have the GameCube games behind me anymore, and this is why. I am housing all of my GameCube games in here just for now, just because I don't have a whole lot of them, and that will probably fill up fairly slowly. So I will be holding it off for now as GameCube games stand, and I hopefully eventually will find one more DVD rack and I can put it right here in this space, and then I'll move that over a little bit. And also what I wanted to show you was a poster that I've had since my childhood. I've always left it in my brother's room because he always wanted it, but since we cleaned out his room and everything, he finally let me have it back and everything. So really cool, and it correlates with the DVD, and it is my original Space Jam poster there. And it is fairly old. I mean, came out in '96, so I've had it basically my whole life, but you can see there like all the holes in it and stuff from thumbtacks after thumbtacks after thumbtacks. But really cool poster. Just thought I'd show you that really quick, guys, and the DVD rack. So I will now cut back to the main video. Alright guys, well, this has been episode number 11. I'm glad you guys stayed around and watched and everything, watched me ramble on about stuff, I guess, and everything like that. I'm glad you could stay around for this episode, because I'm glad you guys like seeing this kind of stuff. Just stay tuned. I will try to get another episode out in about 3 or 4 weeks. Tomorrow's Independence Day, the 4th of July. Today is July 3rd, so tomorrow is July 4th. Have a great time, guys. Be safe this weekend. Have a great 4th of July. Celebrate it with family and friends. Go America. Have a great weekend, guys. I'll see you next time. Happy gaming. Happy 4th of July. See you later.